Man, so yesterday, the DA did their traditional State of the Nation address, pre-State of the Nation address. That's when we saw John Steenhuisen basically telling South Africans about this blueprint that the DA has to improve the lives of poor South Africans. Men, you know, at this point, I believe that all political parties can actually govern better than the African National Congress. I don't think there's a single political party in South Africa right now that can do a terrible job than the African National Congress. Man, the African National Congress is the pit. You see, when it comes to the DA, I remember last year I did a video, and on this video I said, guys, I don't know what the DA is playing at. I don't know if the DA can actually realize that the ANC and the EFF has begun their election campaigns. If you guys remember, ever since the EFF did their 10-year anniversary event in FNB Stadium, all of us remember that controversial event where people were singing "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer." Ever since the EFF did that event, almost every week the EFF has been somewhere in the ground talking to South Africans. Ever since the African National Congress did their 2019 manifesto review in Dobsonville Stadium, the ANC has been on the ground ever since. I came on this platform and I said, guys, I don't know what the DA is doing, because the people that the DA is competing with, they are already campaigning for the 2024 elections. You see, one of the biggest mistakes that the DA has made, and I think this mistake is going to cost them dearly, is that in the past 5 years, the DA has allowed the ANC and the EFF to define them to South Africans, not themselves defining them to South Africans. The DA has basically allowed the ANC and the EFF to define them to South Africans. Now it's 2024, the DA is coming out saying, guys, we have all of the solutions on how we are going to fix your life. And guess what? People are simply saying, guys, we are not going to listen to the DA, because the ANC and the EFF has already told us that the DA is a racist party, it's a white party, and we are not going to listen to that. The ANC and the EFF has told us that no matter what the black people do, no matter how terrible the black government you have, no matter the treason of the African National Congressman, you cannot afford to vote for the Democratic Alliance. The DA is a racist party, and if you dare vote for the DA, then know that you would have betrayed the black nation. So right now, people in the country, they are simply rejecting the DA, and not because they reject the DA because they don't like the policies of the DA. People are not talking about the policies when it comes to the DA. People are simply talking about the racial things when it comes to the DA. And for some reason, for the past 5 years, the DA has allowed the ANC and the EFF to define them to South Africans. Now it's 2024 elections. It is hard for the DA to come out of the box that the ANC and the EFF has put them in. It is so hard for the DA to come out of that box, and I don't think they're going to have a good chance of fighting. If they're going to fight from that box in this 2024 elections, they're not going to have a good chance. Right now, you have another party, Umkhonto weSizwe, you have another party, African Congress for Transformation, and these political parties are appealing to majority of the people in the country, because these political parties are talking the same language that the ANC and the EFF are talking. You are the only political party that is talking a different language. I can say maybe you, Action SA, you are the only political parties that are talking a different language, but I'm not going to talk about Action SA, because Action SA, it is not as big as the DA. So when you look at the top of the food chain, the DA, it is only the political party that is not talking the same language as the ANC, EFF, Umkhonto weSizwe, and African Congress for Transformation. So these people, man, are literally going to bury the DA in 2024. This is what they want. This is what they want. And the DA has basically failed to realize that, man, these people are character assassinating us. For the past 5 years, these political parties have character assassinated the Democratic Alliance. I don't think the Democratic Alliance actually has a good fight, fighting a good fight in these elections, fighting from that box. I don't think they have a good fight. Man, at some point, the Democratic Alliance was an alternative for the people of this country. At some point, the people actually leaned to the DA. That's when you saw the DA going up, man, to the 20s, 21, 22s. You could actually see that South Africans were actually fed up with the African National Congress. But for the past 5 years, the coordinated attacks of the ANC and the EFF towards the DA has actually damaged the party. The coordinated attacks from the ANC and the EFF towards the DA, and the DA failing to defend themselves, actually destroyed the party. I don't know how the people are going to, I don't know how the DA is actually going to fight from this box, man. I don't know how they're going to fight from this box. Because I think at this point, talking policy, it is not actually going to help. Because when people are seeing the DA, people don't see the DA and talk about policy. When people see the DA, the first thing that comes to their mind is to attack this party racially. No matter the solutions that these people are coming with, attack them racially. This is what the ANC and the EFF has actually achieved in the past 5 years. This is a big achievement from the ANC and the EFF. For the ANC and the EFF to only defend themselves against the DA by saying that, man, this party is a racist party, it is an achievement for them. Because till today, whenever the DA has to convince South Africans that South Africans, you cannot vote for the ANC and the EFF, the DA will have to read you the pages, the DA will have to come with the receipts and tell you why you cannot vote for these political parties. But the same political parties, they are not even making the same effort when it comes to discrediting the DA on the ground. Does the Democratic Alliance actually understand this? Do the people in the DA actually understand that the ANC and the EFF, they don't have to attack the DA based on their track record? That's why the ANC and the EFF never talk about the track record of the DA. They only talk about racial politics when they talk about the DA, because they know attacking DA racially actually has more political capacity than the DA talking policy. I don't know if the DA actually realizes this, man. I don't know if the DA actually realizes this. These people, man, are going to bury the party in 2024 elections. With the emergence of more radical political parties, these people are going to destroy the DA. Because the DA on the top of the food chain, it is the only political party that is talking a different language. From the top of the food chain, the DA, it is the only political party that is talking a different language. Basically, the DA is a distraction for them. The DA is an annoyance for them. They would prefer it if they would have ANC, EFF, Umkhonto weSizwe, African Congress for Transformation. Then they would know that when you talk about policy in South Africa, when you talk about politics in South Africa, you will always talk about apartheid, you will always talk about Steve Biko, you will always talk about Chris Hani. You don't even have to talk about anything that is going to help improve the lives of the people in this country. These are kind of politics those political parties actually enjoy. These are kind of politics those political parties actually enjoy. Does the DA actually understand that these people, they want you out of the top of the food chain? There at the top of the food chain, those political parties, they no longer want you there because you are talking a different language. They want the political parties who can say the same things, political parties who can debate from the same angle, political parties who are not talking a different language. This 2024 elections, man, these 2024 elections, they want to bury the DA, man, and I don't think the DA has actually realized this. I mean, right now, if you take anyone from the DA, that's why I'm trying to show you that, guys, this is a huge achievement from the ANC and the EFF. Anyone who comes from the DA, man, if you take a black person from the DA and say, man, go on stage, represent the Democratic Alliance, people are not even listening to what that person is saying. People are looking at that person and say, man, that person is a product of white monopoly capital, man. That person, man, is nothing but a front. So that person, man, is simply there to protect the interest of white people. That person is there to protect the interest of white people. This is a huge achievement for them. for people not to listen to what the DA has to say, for the DA to try to show people that, guys, we are diverse, we have Muslims, we have the Indians, we have black people within the party. It is not enough. It is not enough. The ANC and the EFF has actually achieved convincing South Africans that, guys, if the DA puts anyone who is not white at the front, just know that person is a front, and you cannot take that person serious. That person is a front. Even the ANC, the same ANC that has destroyed people's lives, when they talk about the DA, they talk about the DA confidently, because they know that we are attacking these people racially. They know that there is nothing that the DA can say at this point. It doesn't matter how terrible we are to South Africans. It doesn't matter how terrible our governance is to South Africans. If we talk about the Democratic Alliance, we're going to be confident talking about them, because we know racial politics matter than policy in South Africa. Racial politics, it is number one politics that actually matters in South Africa. That's why every time when I see the ANC going around and saying that the DA is a party of white people, this party hates black people, man, I always laugh my ass off, because I'm like, man, the African National Congress, man, look at how black people are living under the African National Congress. Just look at how black people in this country are living under the African National Congress. I'm not going to mention all the problems that are being faced by black people in this country today. I think all of us know of all the problems that have been faced by black people today under the governance of African National Congress, and the same black people have the audacity to go around to tell you that the DA hates you because you're a black person, but the same people don't mind destroying your life. They don't mind destroying your life. And when you try to complain about them, and when you say, man, I'm going to vote for an opposition party, man, I'm no longer going to vote for this nonsense. This nonsense has destroyed my life. Right now, we have children, man. Our children are sitting at home. If you dare say that, man, and say that we are going to vote for an alternative, these people are going to remind you that, man, if you dare vote for an alternative, if you dare vote for a political party that don't stand for what we stand for, just know that you are betraying the black nation. So many people right now, as we speak, they are blackmailed into supporting the political parties they actually hate, because they know that if they go out and say that, guys, I'm sick and tired of African National Congress, I'm sick and tired of the EFF, I'm sick and tired of the DA, I'm gonna go out and vote for the Freedom Fund Plus, many people are gonna be shocked in South Africa. People will be shocked in South Africa. Can you imagine a black farmer saying, man, I'm going to vote for the Freedom Fund Plus, man. I know these people, man, are strict, especially when it comes to the land. Especially when it comes, I know these people are strict. I know these people are going to protect my interest. People will be shocked. People will be shocked. Do you know why people will be shocked? Because black people are expected to vote the same in South Africa. Black people are expected to think the same. That's why if you're a black person, man, if you dare say anything that is different, people will call you with all sorts of names, because you are thinking different from all of them. Black people are conditioned to think the same. Black people are conditioned to love the same things. If you don't love the same things that black people normally love, then they cast you out and they will crucify you in front of everyone else. So that's why people today, they are being forced into voting for political parties, or they are being forced into loving political parties they actually hate, because they know if they dare say anything about those political parties, they will be lectured about where black people come from. They will be lectured about Steve Biko and Chris Hani. These people, man, will be lectured into voting for the same political parties they hate. Man, I don't know how the DA is actually going to fight this fight. I don't know if the DA actually realizes that 2024, as much as 2024 is important because people want to get rid of the African National Congress, I don't think the DA actually realizes that to other political parties, 2024 is important because they need to get rid of the Democratic Alliance. They are sick and tired of the DA being the second largest party in South Africa. People are sick and tired of that. These politicians are sick and tired of that. That's why every time anything happens in the DA, you will see the coordinated attacks from all the pro-black political parties, because at the end of the day, they want the DA out. They want the DA out, and they want to use 2024 elections to be one election that is actually going to kick out the DA. And I don't think the DA actually realizes if they become the third party in South Africa, if they become the third largest party in South Africa, man, it's basically done with them. It's basically done with them. Can you imagine the situation if we have two radical political parties at the top? Can you imagine the situation? So instead of the DA actually being obsessed about Ramaphosa, I think at this point they need to be obsessed about saving their political party. Am I making any sense? Instead of these people being obsessed about kicking Ramaphosa out of governance, these people need to be careful, because many political parties are actually conspiring to kick them out. They are sick and tired of the position that the DA has held for such a long time. They are sick and tired of that. That's why the coordinated attacks have been happening for the past 5 years. That's why the coordinated attacks have been happening for the past 5 years. So I don't know, guys, how the DA is basically going to fight themselves out of this fight. I don't think the DA actually realizes that as much as people want to get rid of the African National Congress in these elections, radical political parties in South Africa, they want to get rid of the DA in that in that number 2 spot. Guys, I don't know if I'm making any sense. Please tell me if I'm making any sense on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.